Remarkable developments in modern social sciences have given us amazing resources at analyzing people on large and small scales alike. Some of the most popular resources at doing so include the Myers-Briggs Personality Test, Gerd Hofstede's Cultural Dimensions, and the Culture Map by Aaron Myers. However, due to the extremely analytical nature of all of these resources, questions have arrived such as just how accurate are they and what are the practical implications for, say, a student studying abroad for the first time. I decided to start my research with the smallest and most precise of each of these, the Myers-Briggs Personality Test. After taking the test, I discovered that I am an ESTJ. This means that I am practical, realistic, and matter of fact. I'm good at organizing people and projects, and I'm motivated by the bottom line and how to maximize it. After reading this, I was rather impressed with the personality test and felt that this captured me exactly. However, once I looked at the extrovert versus introverted scale, I felt that it wasn't exactly 100% correct. Extroversion versus introversion is not one area that I fell on strongly one way or the other. I had some characteristics of extroversion, such as I'm good at public speaking and I'm okay with taking a lead role in group projects. However, there are also characteristics of introversion that I take too, such as I get my energy from spending time alone or with only a few friends. Because of this reason, I did not feel that it was always appropriate to label someone in such a binary way. Rather, sometimes seeing the spectrum as a whole is more appropriate. However, I decided to mostly look past this as the ESTJ characterization of me was relatively accurate as a whole. Moving on, I decided to compare my Myers-Briggs personality assessments with Gerd Hofstede's assessments of Australia as a culture, and look at some of the places where I might thrive and some of the places where I might struggle. Australia is very high in individualism, meaning that you are only expected to take care of you and your very immediate family members while in Australia. I felt that this was one thing that I would not struggle with because of my thinking and sensing, meaning that I look at the world very objectively and I don't get caught up with emotions and feelings when making a decision, meaning that I would not take things personally and I could handle being in a more individualist environment where I'm expected to take care of myself rather than a collectivist environment where I might be expected to take care of somebody else. One area of Australia that I might struggle in, however, would be their relatively high uncertainty avoidance. Scoring only a 51, Australia is not extremely high on uncertainty avoidance, but still higher than I would be comfortable in, especially when I'd be there for the first time and already be very uncertain about several things. Being high on the judging scale, meaning that I'm used to routines, I like to know what I'm doing before I do it. I felt that a culture with even a 51 in uncertainty avoidance would be difficult to transition to for me because I'm used to routine, I'm used to knowing what I'm doing. However, in Australia, the citizens are relatively okay with not understanding what's going on. An exaggeration, but they're relatively okay with being unsure about many aspects of life. Moving on, I looked finally at some of the dimensions of the culture map and what aspects would I do well, and again, what aspects would I struggle with. After analyzing each of them, some of the highlights were the evaluation and communication dimensions. I felt that when it came to evaluation, I would much prefer an area that gave direct negative feedback versus indirect negative feedback because of my sensing and thinking. I see things literally. I don't read between the lines. What you see is what you get with me, which is why I want someone to tell it to me straight when they give me negative feedback. However, now we move on to communicating with low context versus high context. Very similar. What you see with me is what you get. I'm not going to read between the lines, so what you say to me, I'm going to believe, which is why I think I need to be in an area with low context and direct negative feedback, or else it will take me quite some time to adjust. After viewing all of these as a whole, I came to the conclusion that while helpful, they're not the end-all be-all. There will be minor flaws, and because people are different, no matter what culture they're in, there isn't an exact science that's going to give you 100% every time. However, it can give you an awareness of some of the pitfalls that you might face when going into a new culture and how to open up or maybe how to avoid them. Thank you.